Welcome to Watercoloring Tite Kubo Sketches. I am using the program Rebel 7. Um, I went ahead and grabbed a handful of sketches done by Tite Kubo, the creator of Bleach, and primarily I want to focus on getting better at watercoloring because, well, I think it looks nice. And I'm not too great. So I just want to, get better at something. I obviously traced over the line work and the sketches that I have picked up, which is fine. I'm not really looking into drawing the character. I'm just mainly here to get better at watercoloring. So basically that's what I'm doing. And today I will be going over Geen, and depending how long this guy takes, I will also try to do Rangiku as well. This is Shinsui. I'll probably continue working on him. And then obviously wow, the name, Yoroichi. She was the first person, and I think her clothes are alright. I obviously have to darken stuff up and go over it. And yeah, but overall it's okay. But I tried a lot more with Shinsui, and then after that, I went ahead and grabbed a couple more and, did this. Obviously, all the references I use are in here. And obviously, my line work is over top of Kubo's. But again, I'm not really trying to improve the drawing. I'm just here to color them in like a coloring book. So, without further ado, here I go. This layer. Feel free to add your own music, listen to your own music. Not sure how long it will take, but here we go. And not too, well, not sure how much I'll talk, but yeah. I guess I'll talk about Bleach, obviously. Overall, I believe Geen could still be one of my top favorite characters. Just a mischievous guy, you know? In this program, the watercolor and basically just every tool reacts as if it is, you know, real life. They've done a real good job with the physics of it. So you can see the amount of water that theoretically is on the face with the blue. And at the moment, I'm sure it doesn't look like any colors really on the face, but I assure you there is. Geen is also one of these pasty boys. Also, with the watercoloring, less I find is more, especially when you are just starting. But I think that you should have a okay wash over top. You'll see in a second. With this amount of, I guess, color and water, you can then go to a different brush, which will have more color, just the way it's all set up. So if I dab, um, where do I want the darker areas? Let's just do a basic. Oh, wait, no, skipping something. Generally, I think I've been actually outlining a little bit because I find if you have a strong layer or like some line work, this will hold the water into an area better instead of it leaking everywhere you don't want. But okay, let's grab this. All right, well, this skin tone is actually really pasty. Can hardly even see it. So I'm actually just going to notch it up. Yeah, like that. You can see the color bleed with the watercolor. And you can kind of see it jumping into the hair. I'm just doing. I'm just trying to do some light edging. Pause. Wait, that doesn't need to be a pause. Um, Yikes. Um, then again, I'm looking at it, and this doesn't really even look like a skin tone that would fit Gino too much. But we are going. Maybe he has a bit more warmth in his life because of this one. You can tone down the water. And some spread. Generally. like the cheeks have warmth in them, but that be in character for this guy. Let's have a make-believe fantasy where he, spoiler alert, in this world maybe he lives. And he becomes a bit more warm and less cold-blooded. So maybe we can add some warmth to his face. We can go to this. Let's see. You can also use the sponge, make it as big as you want, and then you can also have an absorbency. So if I want, I can just take all the water away, or lessen it up, and maybe what way do I want more of the light or shadow to hit? I have shadow, I think, more on this side. So let's do this. Smaller. This will be like a triangle. So the less water, the less the watercolor will spread when I put it onto the face. If this was in real life, one trick to absorb water from the page, maybe you added too much water, you can have a dry brush or a sponge or basically anything that is absorbent. And you can also just pick and extract the water off of the face or off of the page. Um, sure. That looks okay. Bingo. A little less water just because this brush likes to expand quite heavy. It has a heavy flow. See, even there kind of looks too blocky, too much darkness. But I can either undo it or I can kind of blend it. I like to think if let's say Geen survived past the point, obviously, where he dies. And he was actually a character in the Thousand Year Blood War. I think he would give the Quincy's quite a difficult time. One, because obviously I think he's actually very powerful, but because his Bonkai actually, the power of the poison that comes from his blade would actually tear apart the Quincy defenses pretty fast. Just because I believe it devours or like it breaks down and destroys Reishi or Yatsu. Is it Reishi or Yatsu? Shoot, I should know. But either way, basically just breaks down and will basically destroy everything the Quincy do. This is hair. Or is it neck? This is neck. Let's see. Does that look too much? Nah, it's his neck. It's his neck. But let's can also look at it without the lines, which will essentially be what I will save it as. The lines, my lines I put over top of Kubo's sketches are basically, yeah, the guidelines. So if I look at Shinsui, it's like I want to do more with this hand, fix his chest up more, this hand, do some stuff, and probably around this area. Nah, just the whole thing. But back to this smiley guy. So from without the lines, you can kind of see some things. Kind of looks spooky, actually. Under the lip. Should I add more shadow? Let's keep it easy for now. Water. like I find you want to have at least a certain there's no T in certain, but you want to have a certain amount of water just so things can spread. Nope. I don't think so either. I think I'll just go in and do an outline for his mouth. Hold on. There's some mistakes happening. All right. Creepy. Yep. So it looks right. We can kind of, let's see. For mouths, you want to make sure at least the corners, that's where, like, normally, um, it's darkest, like in the crease, kind of like also in the sides of noses. That's where a shadow builds up. I guess it doesn't really build up, it just, lays there. But so this one, let's use this for the outline for skin. And with the principles, I suppose, majority of the time, with watercolor, you want to go from the lightest to the darkest majority of the time. At least what I was told slash kind of taught. I will soften up these lines. Actually, I was gonna get rid of them, except for the eyes. This one and this one. All right, time for them. Obviously, over time, I will continue fixing up editing mouth area, but move on. And I think the eyes. I guess they are eyelashes, so they could be a bit darker. So let's see. I don't want to go straight in with the black, but I can just get rid of it if it's too much. Maybe a darker brown would have been maybe better. And since, black is obviously the darkest, um, in a general sense, you can't really go back from that on a piece of paper in real life. But obviously, there's technology on my side. Let's just use this brown. Ooh, don't know if that got picked up, but that was my I guess stomach. Mm. All right. I think face obviously can be better, but it looks looking okay. Flat. Some water. Maybe that's too dark. Um, Honestly, it's not too bad actually. So let's go in on this side. Put some shadow under that hair. And up here. Not bad. It's also kind of nice. It's like when the surface is wet, you can just kind of dab the darker color in and then let the water carry it over the areas you hopefully want it to go. There's also a pause feature. You can just pause it if you want. You don't want it to be live. But even though this is on the computer, I still want some realism to it, you know. What am I trying to say? Have as if it's still there's no pause when you're doing it live on a real piece of paper, so that's what I want to still have the feeling of on the computer. Don't know if I like that in there. So let's just move it around, and that's a bit better. Look at this happy camper. I think add just a little bit of all right. Let's add a little bit of color under this eye. By color, I just mean some more shadow. I guess also trying to figure out what the color should be for his coat and his toque. I'm thinking like a light brown. Light brown. Not sure, not sure. Not sure at all. Then for his hair, I have to what? It's the teal, the light blue, or do I want to go more of the violet, light purple? Let's just look up a reference real quick. Mm, So the anime, it's a bit more light, light violet. But if I look at manga color, it's just basically always been a white silver. So let's go with just for a quick, this will be here. Let's add maybe a darker, but all right. That's my little hair color palette right there. I can just go like this, and I can, you know, use those, or I can obviously go into here and just click them because they are right there. Uh, do a round wash. Actually, what I will do first, I'll go with this one and the liner, and just do a quick. But first, let me take a selfie. Uh, and then here, when there's no water, then obviously if the brush also has like one water as well, basically barely, it should barely spread. I don't know if I like that. Um, okay, it's not too bad. With that there, that kind of at works is obviously, as I said earlier, go here as a kind of a barrier. Okay. Guess we can zoom in a little more. I'm going to go into this little slice of life and add more dark, more of a shadow. Is this? Nah. I was gonna say, is that an ear? But we're going to take the decision. We're going to make the decision and say it's just a curl, a strand of his hair. Okay. It also, I think it's good, cool, kind of, to just watch the water spread, the color. I think it's cool. I don't want that to spread that way, so boom. And yeah, here, at least for this kind of coloring or paint, something I need to get better at. Nice. Nice. A little bit more juice. Mm, all right, let's do some of this. Let's see what I can do just with some blending. Oops, too much. Kind of looks iffy. Yeah, throughout the series, well, Tite Kubo, he Geen had to die just because he was too overpowered. So in that regard, you just have to kill him. But no, it is just a tragic end. I'll definitely glaze Geen. I always thought it would have been obviously cool to keep him around in the series. Oops, that was a mistake, right? Uh, Yikes. Honestly, actually, it's not like it's terrible, but improvement there could be. That's for sure. Oops. There we go. We need this one. All right, let's throw some just some darkness, some shadow into that crack of his face. Okay. All right, so for his clothes, Let's see what kind of colors. Body. Um, Maybe he wants to match Rankiku's hair. And but let's do more of a brown. Something nice. Flat. Um, all right, but the big time question, what should I'm guessing that's a big floofy scarf. That would be a pretty floofy collar for this coat. Hmm. Do I just maybe increase opacity, which is the amount of color? Actually, that wouldn't make sense. How do I want to color it? Like what, 50 before? Uh, do I want to? All right, so let's dry this side. Um, then add a little more. What was it, 50 before? That should draw some. Kind of, not really. Uh, 68. How about 69? Let's do a little. It's kind of nice. We can. We can do some stuff. We can do this. Mhm. Doom, doom, doom. Now I can play a little bit more with some heavier dark in the color. Uh, I guess, what is it? The decision to choose Bleach characters to do this. I just think, flat out, Tite Kubo has. I just like his what art style, character design. So basically, that's the decision behind choosing these characters, or just like his work in general. Didn't have to be the set of characters; it could have been any of them. Nice. All right. So this brown was definitely not that. This might be too dark, but let's go in and see. Not too bad, I don't think. Absorbency. Just taking away kind of any path that this darker brown could travel. Alright, had a little pause, but guess you won't be able to notice in the video. Um, but I think I'll do some sort of burgundy, I believe, for the scarf and the toque. Dun, 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 dun. Drawing, painting. I guess this sort of activity I always find time actually moves super fast. It's like after a while you just don't realize it's already been over an hour. And I'm not even done the one character. The one thing I would want to improve upon myself is to be a bit faster, more quick when it comes to, I guess, coloring and I guess drawing in general. Sometimes it'll take oh, an exuberant amount of time. Now I'm gonna sound really stupid if I used that word incorrectly, but I'm trying to say takes sometimes a quite a while to finish something. Um, That's still too much. Oops. All right. Um, does this little button area? Nice. Personally, I think it'd be pretty cool if once part 4 for the Thousand Year Blood War arc, if it does, I hope, reasonably well, I would hope that there would be a green light with Tite Kubo at the helm, with the amount of hands-on that he's doing right now with the Thousand Year Blood War adaptation. If they were to adapt some of the light novels, like the Fear Your Own World or something like that. There's two of them. That would be pretty cool, I think. Could see Hisagi's Bankai amongst other things. I guess the one takes place between Aizen and the Thousand Year Blood War, I think. Between the Fullbring and the last arc. And then I think the other book takes place after, I believe. But then again, I could be wrong. I know Kenpachi has a fight with a previous, I think, Kenpachi. So that would be cool. And he has another fight, I think, with um the super hybrid, kind of similar to Ichigo's DNA. Basically, it has power of everything. It has hollow DNA. I think it has full burn Shinigami hollow. Quincy. All right. Could definitely add more opacity, color to the coat, but kind of just like this washed out look. So I think we can just move on to the scarf. Oh wait, I need to do the buttons. That's right. They can be a gold-ish. Mm, round because they are round. And yeah, easy. Hold on. This. All right, cool. Um, how about a little bit darker? Some edges. My phone's way over there. Back to this color. Even though I kind of messed up with the order of things, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I kind of want to put a happy face on one of them. I think that'd be amusing. And also in character. There should be, this could be a bit darker on the top. This one, this. Back to here. Back to this one. Some line. But Cute. Um, some flat. Smaller though. Okay. You know what I always find quite funny? Like someone who watches this could say, "Oh man, you suck. You're tracing over." Let's see, where's the reference? Here we go. It's like, obviously this is the reference that I traced over, and since I traced these drawings, they're gonna be like, "You suck. You can't draw." But I always find people who say that are the people who actually don't draw or do anything. And since they can't draw, they see people who trace things to be like, all right, well, he can't draw either. He's tracing. But it's okay to trace. Just don't take credit for basically this drawing because obviously I traced it. And well, as long as you're learning something, it's basically okay. That being said, there are a handful of other things that I've obviously drawn that are clearly not traced. Because obviously, a lot of the time I don't need to trace. Tracing is just, I don't know, you want to practice straight lines? Trace over someone else's drawing. It's a good practice. But if you tell somebody that, who, majority of the time, like I said, uh, have no ability to draw, and they see people tracing, they instantly laugh at them, which is quite amusing, to be honest. It's like everybody, it's like way back in the day, lots of people traced to get better, and that's okay. Just never hand in something and say, all right, this is 100% me. And that's not cool. But, if you're using things like this to, help make you better at something, then sure, go ahead. It's like I said at the beginning of the video, um, this isn't me drawing anything. This is just me using these sketches from Kubo basically as a coloring book just to help me have something to draw over, or more like color over, like a coloring book. So that is all okay. You'll see a lot of young kids though who are just starting to draw, and then they'll fall into the pattern of, I drew this. I drew this without tracing, and it's line for line of the thing that they drew. And it's like, I didn't trace it, but clearly you did. It's like anyone who has been drawing for a while will be able to tell whether someone traced or not. But yeah, a lot of kids will be like, want the gratification of someone who's older than them, someone, I don't know, who's more talented, and they want the instant way to go. That's a wonderful drawing because you drew it, and the kid will be like 100%. I didn't trace at all. Then they'll get stuck in that because obviously they're told tracing is bad. But it's not. It's an okay learning thing to do. Just the number one key thing, though, is never say that you didn't trace if you traced, because that's just plagiarism. And that's not cool. That's just stealing. I like how I said I was going to just move on to the scarf and toque. And yeah, now I'm just messing around with the coat more. I guess I'm just not happy with how it looks. I was actually happy a while ago. And then I'm just kept messing around with it and slowly have started to not like it. So let's just give it some sort of texture and move on. Okay, okay. Do this. Too heavy. Which? Just, nope. Yeah, I think it's this. Uh, all right, scarf time. Scarf time, toque time. Okay. And they are going to be a brown-ish burgundy. Ron Burgundy. Not even go okay though. Um, Contemplating life. Maybe a bit more red, less brown. Or should they be... Damn. The decisions... That is too vibrant, I think. Um, he has that sash, I think, that's around this color. And on his Espada cloak, robe. Even that, though, doesn't really go. Um, the green, no. The purple? He could go with his hair, but does it go? Maybe he wants to. Maybe he will match Rankiku's hair. But that scarf, oof. That's a nice orange. That's a nice creamsicle popsicle orange color though. The decisions. I'm not quite sure. This is quite the confuddlement. Like, Shinsui was, I think, easy color choice pick because obviously his cloak is pink, so this dress shirt can be pink. This is clearly just her regular outfit under what the Thunder God form. Um, they're not colored yet. Maybe maybe red is the choice, but more in this line. Yep. Yep. So let's just do a line down like this. Nice, nice. Dry stuff off. And hold on. Let me do this first. Boom. Is that good? All right, the border is pretty much complete. Okay. So let's go to the wash. Very nice. Let that soak in. Wait, that's water. I'm an idiot. Um, uh-huh. Do this. Looks okay. Some more down here. Some splish splash. Um, Full on color. Um, Too much absorbency. I think that's okay. Also, to carry on with a thought brought up a little, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago, maybe. If the fourth part of the arc does well, not only would it be cool, I think, if they adapted the light novels, if they also continued with the supposed uh gates to hell or breath to hell, whatever the special was that Kubo made and released, that would be quite awesome, I feel. um, as long as she does not die, um everything will be okay. But also, Yoruichi, she needs Tite Kubo needs to, I think, show her a Zanpakuto. Think it's been missing for too long now, and it would be cool if we saw it. Her Shikai and her Bankai. Then it'd be cool if, obviously, she used Shanko and her Zanpakuto together. I assume she would be pretty deadly. That seemed like too much. Also, I guess not enough. I didn't like how that was turning out. Uh, and I guess if they obviously go to hell, that's where the graveyard for all the captain class and very high level characters go to die, or that's where their spirits go after they die. So this guy could make an appearance. So that would be pretty cool. Bum, 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 bum. Color. Um, Actually, right in here. Dry that real quick. Okay. More color. I I'm actually hesitant. Hesitant. Smaller zone. Hit him with the bing bada boom. I clearly don't know what I'm doing with the coloring process for either the toque or the scarf. It just looks so. But we'll move. Um, let's do some lines. Wait. Nothing's coming. Oh, it's there you go. Nope. I really got to get a arm for the tablet. So instead of looking down and killing my neck, I can have the tablet up, right? I can just look straight at it. Ooh. Do I want to? I do. I do. Hold on, actually. Go into fan because that usually pours out with stuff. Some water. Ooh, that's a lot. Why did I think it'd be less? All right, I can just do this. And spreading in the wrong way. I'm adding the wrong color. Classic. Darker one. But maybe trash. Trash, trash. Maybe a little bit more water. Nope. Yep. So obviously pretty important when coloring, adding shading, have a clear idea where the light is coming from. And right now, I am actually just winging it, which isn't obviously what you want to do. Very nice. What? Okay. I was like, why is it coming up? Let's just see what that does. Maybe a bit much. Mhm. Line. Darker. Now, would that be a good idea? Who knows? Dun, dun, dun. Let's dry this up. Not only that, this is pretty prominent. Oh, the neck. Yes. I don't think that's going well, to be honest. Let's see if I can go back in time. I can, excellent. All right, a bit too dark maybe. And actually, let's just do a wash with this instead. And that's not doing anything because that's on blend. Now, that's all good. Some over here. Hum dum dum dum. Do a lining. Little loop de loop. Let's hit it up with nope, 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 nope. Hmm. Um, this. Let's we oopsie. Should lock the windows. Hmm. All right. Let's kind of clean. That's supposed to be. Do 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 do. Nope. I need to draw his non-existent eyebrows. Um, Dark. Nice. They look weird. I can see why around Giku fell for this guy. He's just a goofy little person, isn't he? Just a little goofball. Look at him. Huh. Let's So his Zanpakuto fabric is kind of a teal, right? It's kind of like this color. So this will be, what's nah, let's do a wash. Line, so she is right there. I forget what Rangiku's color, if her Zanpakuto handle has any specific color. I'm probably going to mix them right here. Yeah, it's funny that Tite Kubo made Gin kind of a double agent in a sense. It's not like he was working for Yamamoto or the Soul Society or anything. He was purely working for himself, his own self motivation, which was to make Rangiku smile again. Kind of. He's just a lover boy. And even though he tried to defeat Aizen his own way, according to the man himself, Tite Kubo, Gin still had to die because he still killed numerous people and did bad things. So he was still considered a villain. So Tite Kubo said he had to kill him. Though with that logic, Aizen's still alive, but he's alive by plot armor, the Hogyoku, so it makes sense. But having Ichimaru live, that would have been a-okay. I guess in the same sense, Itachi died for being a double agent. But that was also his plan. Fan. Okay. Well, I think this is where I'm gonna say he is done for the most part. As an artist, I can see my own criticisms very easily. I think most artists will basically look at their own work and be like, I could have done this better, this, that, this, which is very, I think, common. But this part has already taken, wow, 3 out. Way too long. So Rangiku can come after Gin. And the next video, I think I will do. So if you skipped along until this part, awesome. And well, if you liked the time lapse of close to 3 hours, which is gross, you made it this far, definitely appreciate that. If you liked listening to me ramble on about my thoughts, well, thanks. And if you don't want to miss out on me coloring other characters, feel free to subscribe. That would be pretty cool. She will be next. And then I'll move down to the Besto Friendos with Grimjo and Ulquiorra. And then obviously your boy Ichigo and Orihime. So, leave a comment if you want. Yeah, if there's a character you want me to actually draw in the future, let me know. If you like this, hit the like button. That would definitely be nice. And yeah, if you want to miss out on any further things, any further drawings, feel free to subscribe. so you don't miss out. In the future, I plan to do a to Z characters, which is basically my idea of picking, I guess, what, 26 characters from everyone who has a A to a Z for a name. So the first character idea, obviously draw Anissa for Invincible. And then I think Battle Beast because I thought he was pretty cool, but I don't want to draw too many characters from the same series. So I'll draw a guy and a girl, I believe, from whatever amount of series I pick from A to Z. So obviously these two will be from Invincible. And then, do 26 videos of the just drawing whatever character. So I think like what top of my head I want to do your boy let's see, do real quick. His hair goes up that way. I think he just has regular human ears, even though he's not a human. And there we go. If you don't know who this is, wait, let's do more of an eyeshadow thing. Excellent. That's Ryuk. So obviously R will be for him for Death Note because I think Ryuk is a pretty nice guy and he deserves some love. So let me erase this real quick. So if you don't want to miss out on that, obviously, you can subscribe. That would be, you'll be able to see everything that comes out. Wait, no, keep that. All right, cool. I think that's that. So, without any further ado, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And that's it. Peace. Hold on, I can't hit the button. All right. Peace out. Oh no, I can actually hear the not even piecing out yet, but what is it? Some of the echoey shit. Still got to tweak the filters. All right. Without further ado though, I'm going to peace out. Peace.